Shan State is a state of Myanmar. Shan State borders China to the north, Laos to the east, and Thailand to the south, and 5 administrative divisions of Burma in the west. Largest of the 14 administrative divisions by land area, Shan State covers 155,800 km², almost a quarter of the total area of Burma. The state gets its name from the Shan people, one of several ethnic groups that inhabit the area. Shan State is largely rural, with only 3 cities of significant size, Lashio, Kengtung, and the capital, Taunggyi. Taunggyi is 150.7 kilometers northeast of the nation's capital Naypyitaw. Shan State, with many ethnic groups, is home to several armed ethnic armies. While the military government has signed ceasefire agreements with most groups, vast areas of the state, especially those east of the Thanlwin River, remain outside the central government's control, and in recent years have come under heavy ethnic Chinese economic and political influence. Other areas are under the control of military groups such as the Shan State Army. History. Shan State is the unitary successor state to the Burmese Shan States, the princely states that were under some degree of control of the Irrawaddy Valley-based Burmese kingdoms. Historical Thai Shan States extended well beyond the Burmese Shan States, ranging from full-fledged kingdoms of Assam in the northwest to Langsang in the east, to Lana and Ayutthaya Thai in the southeast, as well as several petty princely states in between, covering present-day northern Shan State, northern Sagaing Division, Kachin State, Kaur State in Myanmar as well as Laos, Thailand and the southwestern part of Yunnan, China. The definition of Burmese Shan States does not include the Ava Kingdom and the Hanthawaddy Kingdom of the 13th to 16th centuries, although the founders of these kingdoms were Burmanized Shans and Monized Shans, respectively. Early history. The first founding of Shan States inside the present-day boundaries of Burma began during the Pagan Kingdom in the Shan Hills and accelerated after 1287, when the Pagan Kingdom fell to the Mongols. The Shans, who came south with the Mongols, stayed and quickly came to dominate much of northern to eastern arc of Burma from northwestern Sagaing Division to Kachin Hills to the present-day Shan Hills. The most powerful Shan states were Mongyang and Mongkawng in present-day Kachin State, followed by Xinhui, Sapor and Mongmit in present-day northern Shan State. Smaller Shan states, such as Kale in northwestern Sagaing Division, Bamo in Kachin State, Yonhui in Kengtung in Shan State, and Mongpa in Kaur State, played a precarious game of paying allegiance to more powerful states, sometimes simultaneously. The newly founded Shan states were multi-ethnic, which included many other ethnic minorities as the Chin, the Kachin, the Wak, the Tang, the Lisu, the Lahu, the Pano, the Kawa, etc. Although Burmanized Shans founded the Ava Kingdom that ruled central Burma, other Shan states, Munyin in particular, constantly raided Ava territories throughout the years. A Munyin-led confederation of Shan states finally conquered Ava in 1527. Taunggyi and Konbawn periods. In 1555, King Baranorn dislodged Shan King Sethu Kyabutin from Ava. By 1557 he went on to conquer all of what would become known as the Burmese Shan states under his rule, from the Assamese border in the northwest to those in Kachin Hills and Shan Hills, including the 2 most powerful Shan states, Munyin and Magaon. The Shan states were reduced to the status of governorships, but the Sorfairs were permitted to retain their royal regalia and their feudal rights over their own subjects. Baranorn introduced Burmese customary law and prohibited all human and animal sacrifices. He also required the sons of Sorfairs to reside in the Burmese king's palace, essentially hostages, in order to ensure the good conduct of their fathers, and to receive training in Burmese court life. Burmese kings continued this policy until 1885. When the kingdom fell to the British. The reach of the Burmese sovereign waxed and waned with the ability of each Burmese monarch. Shan states became briefly independent following the collapse of the first Taunggyi dynasty, in 1599. The restored Taunggyi dynasty under King Nyanyan and King Anokpelon recovered the Shan states, including the 2 Strangesta Euromunyan in Magaon by 1605 and Lan Na by 1615. In the early 18th century, the rule of Burmese monarchs declined rapidly, and by the 1730s, the northernmost Shan states, many of which had paid dual tribute to China and Burma, had been annexed by the Qing dynasty of China. The annexed border states ranged from Magaon and Bamo in present-day Kachin State to Hsinwei and Kengtung in present-day Shan State to Sasongpana in present-day Xishuangbanadai Autonomous Prefecture, Yunnan. In the middle of the 18th century, the Burmese Konbaun dynasty's reassertion of the easternmost boundaries of Burmese Shan states led to a war with China. It made 4 separate invasions of Burma from 1765 to 1769, during the Sino-Burmese War. The Burmese success in repelling a numerically far superior Chinese force laid the foundation for the present-day boundary between Burma and China. The present-day boundary of southern Shan State vis-à-vis Thailand was formed shortly after. Burma lost southern Lan Na in 1776 and northern Lan Na in 1786 to a resurgent Bangkok-based Siam, ending an over 2-century Burmese suzerainty over the region. It retained only Kengtung on the Burmese side. The southern border of Shan State remained contested in the following years. Siam invaded Kengtung and Burma invaded Lan Na in 1797 and 1804. Siam occupied Kengtung during World War II. Throughout the Burmese feudal era, Shan State supplied much manpower in the service of Burmese kings. Without Shan manpower, the Burmans alone would not have been able to achieve their much-vaunted victories in Lower Burma, Siam, and elsewhere. Shans were a major part of Burmese forces in the First Anglo-Burmese War of 1824–1826, and fought valiantly, a fact that the British commanders acknowledged. After the Second Anglo-Burmese War of 1852, the Burmese kingdom was reduced to Upper Burma alone. The Shan states, especially those east of the Thanlwin River, were essentially autonomous entities, paying token tribute to the king. In 1875, King Mindon, to avoid certain defeat, ceded Karenni states, long part of Shan states, to the British. When the last king of Burma, Thibaw Min, ascended the throne in 1878, the rule of central government was so weak that Thibaw had to send thousands of troops to tame a rebellion in the Shan state of Nongnai and other eastern Shan states for the remainder of his 6-year reign. Colonial period On November 28, 1885, the British captured Mandalay, officially ending the Third Anglo-Burmese War in 11 days. But it took until 1890 for the British to subdue all of the various Shan states. Under the British colonial administration, established in 1887, the Shan states were ruled by their sovets as feudatory princely states of the British Crown. The British placed Kachin Hills inside Mandalay Division in northwestern Shan areas under Saguing Division. In October 1922, the Shan and the Karenni states were merged to create the Federated Shan states, under a commissioner who also administered the Wa states. This arrangement survived the constitutional changes of 1923 and 1937. During World War II, most of Shan states were occupied by the Japanese. Chinese Kuomintang forces came down to northeastern Shan states to face the Japanese. Thai forces, allied with the Japanese, occupied Kengtung and surrounding areas in 1942, annexing the territory to the Thai state. After the war, the British returned, while many Chinese KMT forces stayed inside Burmese Shan states. Negotiations leading to independence at the Panglong Conference in February 1947 secured a unitary Shan state, including former Wa states but without the Karenni states. More importantly, Shan state gained the right of secession in 10 years from independence. Independence. Soon after gaining independence in January 1948, the central government led by U Nu faced several armed rebellions. The most serious was the Chinese nationalist KMT invasion of Shan State in 1950. Driven out by the Chinese Communist forces, nationalist KMT armies planned to use the region east of the Thanlwin River as a base from which to regain their homeland. In March 1953, the KMT forces, with U.S. assistance, were on the verge of taking the entire Shan state and within a day's march of the state capital Taunggyi. The Burmese army drove back the invaders east across the Thanlwin, but much of the KMT army and their progeny have remained in the eastern Shan state under various guises to the present day. The Burmese army's heavy-handedness fueled resentment. In 1961, Shan saw fairs led by Sao Shwe Taik, the first president of Burma, and Sao Pair of Yeonmi, proposed a new federal system of government for greater autonomy, although the Shans had the constitutional right to secede. Though Shan leaders promised not to exercise the right, the Burmese army led by General Ne Win thought the proposal was secessionist. General Ne Win's coup d'état in 1962 brought an end to the Burmese experiment with democracy and with it, the call for greater autonomy for ethnic minorities. The coup fueled the Shan Rebellion, started in 1958 by a small group called Numsa One Quarter K Han, now joined by the Shan State Army. By the early 1960s, Eastern Shan State festered with several insurgencies and warlords, and it emerged as a major opium-growing area, part of the so-called Golden Triangle. Narcotics trafficking became a vital source of revenue for all insurgencies. Major forces consisted of the SSA and the Communist Party of Burma, as well as those of the drug lords Kunza and Losing Han. By the mid-1960s, CPB had begun receiving open support from China. Thailand also began a decades-long policy of support for non-communist Burmese rebels. Families of insurgent leaders were allowed to live in Thailand, and insurgent armies were free to buy arms, ammunition, and other supplies. In the late 1980s and 1990s, the military government signed ceasefire agreements with 17 groups, including all major players in Shan State. An uneasy truce has ensued, but all forces remain heavily armed. Today, the 20,000-strong United Wa State Army is the largest armed group, and is heavily involved in the narcotics trade. Under the 2008 constitution, endorsed by the Burmese junta, certain UWSA-controlled areas were given the status of an autonomous region. In recent decades, Chinese state and ethnic Chinese involvement in Shan State has deepened. Hundreds of thousands of immigrants from China have come to work in Upper Burma since the 1990s. Chinese investment in the state has funded everything from hydropower and mining projects to rubber plantations, logging, and wildlife trade. Wa and Kokang regions, led by local leaders, use the yuan currency and operate on Chinese Standard Time. New Constitution in the general election of November 2010. 117 seats were open for Shan State Parliament, 2 each for 55 townships and 7 seats for different ethnic constituencies. But elections for Mong Mao, Pangwon, Pangkham, Namphan and Mong Lao township constituencies were cancelled. 54 candidates from Union Solidarity and Development Party, USDP, 31 from Shan Nationalities Democratic Party, 6 from Paro National Organization, 4 from Tang National Party, 3 each from In National Development Party and Wa Democratic Party, 4 from 3 other parties, and 2 independent candidates were elected. Only 1 candidate from National Unity Party was elected for Shan State Lashio, although it was the second largest party in terms of numbers of candidates. Ontario, 2011, All Mat, a former military officer of the Myanmar Army and a USDP candidate of Pindayar constituencies, was named as Chief Minister of Shan State Government. 2 candidates from SNDP were named for the first Shan State Government. Sai Pao was named for Industry and Mining Minister and Sai Nor Kam was named for Construction Minister. In the Shan State cabinets, 1 was from the Myanmar Army and 6 were from the Union Soldiery and Development Party. Sai Mok Kam, one of the 2 vice presidents of Myanmar, was elected from Shan State No. 3 constituency as a National Assembly candidate in November 2010 election. Geography. Most of the Shan State is a hilly plateau, the Shan Plateau, which together with the higher mountains in the north and south forms the Shan Hill system. The gorge of the Thanlwin River cuts across the state. The famous Inle Lake where the leg rowing and the people live in floating villages, in the Great Northern Shwe Plain, is the second largest natural expanse of water in Burma, shallow but 14 miles long and 7 miles wide. Pindayar Caves near Anban are vast limestone caves which contain 62-26 Buddha images. The road to Taunggyi via Kalawandan branches off at Thailand from the main Yangon-Mandalay road. Another road via Wangan and Pindaya branches off from Kyok south of Mandalay. The railhead stops short of Taunggyi at Shwe Nyon, again from Thailand Junction, and nearby Aero has an airport. A severe magnitude 6.8 earthquake struck in Talay, Lake Township, the eastern part of Shan State, on March 24, 2011. It killed more than 70 and injured more than 100 people. 390 houses, 14 Buddhist monasteries and 9 government buildings were damaged. Administrative divisions. Shan State is traditionally divided into 3 sub-states, North Shan State, East Shan State, and South Shan State. It is also officially divided into 11 districts: Taunggyi, Loilan, Kyaukm, Muse, Lorkeng, Kunlong, Lashio, Kengtung, Mong Sot, Mong Hpayak, Tarkalayak. An additional district, Hopang District, was formed as 12th district of Shan State by combining of Mong Mao, Pangwon, Namvan and Pangsang townships from Lashio District, Matman Township from Kengtung District, Hopang Township, and Panlong and Naypyitaw townships from Kunlong District in September 2011. Government Executive Legislature Judiciary State Anthem Transport. Shan State is served by the following airports: Aero Airport, Lashio Airport, Takilak Airport, Kengtung Airport. Demographics. The people of Shan State can be divided into 9 primary ethnic groups: the Shan, Pao, Intha, Lahu, Lisu, Torno, Danu, Tang, Akka and Jingpo. The valleys and tableland are inhabited by the Shans, who in language and customs resemble the Thais, Dai, and the Lao. They are largely Buddhists and are mainly engaged in agriculture. Among the Shans live the Bama, Han Chinese, and Karens. The hills are inhabited by various peoples, notably the Wag, who are numerous in the north and along the Chinese border. The Tang people are numerous in the northern Shan State, in Namkham, Muse, Nampaka, Kutke, and Lashio townships along the Burma-China border, and also in the middle of Shan State, in Namsam, Kyaukm and Thibor townships. The population of the Tang people is over 100,000. Some of the Tang people in Kalawandan in the southern Shan State. The Lisu people are numerous in Mongmit, Sapor, Kyaukm, Namsam, Nampaka, Kutke, Namtu, Lashio, Hopang, Tangyan, and Kokang of northern Shan State. Lisu also has numerous population in Taunggyi, Pekon, Hopong, Mongpan, Loilam, Panglong, Likar, Namsang, Mongnai, Mongpan, Mongtan of southern Shan State. A few Lisu population in Kengtung and Wa region. There is a dwindling population of Anglo-Burmese and major hill stations, such as Kalawand and Taunggyi, a holdover from the colonial period. The Jingpo people are numerous in the northern Shan State, in Namkham, Muse, Nampaka, Kutke, Kawnng Kar, Mungmiat Kadorn, Kengtung and Lashio townships and along the Burma-China border. The Jingpo people in Shan State is estimated over 200,000. Economy: silver, lead, and zinc are mined, notably at the Bordwin mine, and there are smelters at Namtu. Rubies are extracted in large quantity in Mongshu Township in late 1990s and early 2000s. Teak is cut, and rice and other crops are grown. Shan State is famous for its garden produce of all sorts of fresh fruit and vegetables thanks to its temperate but sunny climate. Itinerant markets that travel from place to place, setting up on every 5th day in each small town or village, are typical, although large towns have permanent markets. It is part of the Golden Triangle, an area in which much of the world's opium and heroin are illegally produced. Drug trafficking is controlled by local warlords, some of whom have private armies amounting to thousands of soldiers. Much of the methamphetamine that ends up in Thailand is produced in this region as well. There are some border trading centers along the Shan State border and neighbor countries. Muse, the biggest border trading center along the Myanmar-China border, and Tarkalayak, another important trading center between Myanmar and Thailand, are in Shan State. The construction project of Sino-Burma pipelines of oil and gas that passes through northern part of Shan State was started in September 2010 and planned to be finished in 2013. Education. Educational opportunities in Myanmar are extremely limited outside the main cities of Yangon and Mandalay. It is especially a problem in Shan State where vast areas are beyond government control. According to official statistics, only about 8% of primary school students in Shan State reach high school. Taunggyi University is the main university in the state, and until recently the only four-year university in the state. In recent years, the military government, which closed down universities and colleges in the 1990s to quell student unrest, has upgraded former colleges and two-year institutes. The government now requires that students attend their local universities and colleges, such as Lashio University, Kengtung University, Thanlwin University. Healthcare. The general state of healthcare in Myanmar is poor. The military government spends anywhere from 0.5% to 3% of the country's GDP on healthcare, consistently ranking among the lowest in the world. Although healthcare is nominally free, in reality, patients have to pay for medicine and treatment, even in public clinics and hospitals. Public hospitals lack many of the basic facilities and equipment. The following is a summary of the public health system in the state, in the fiscal year 2002-2003. References. Bibliography, Forbes, Andrew. Henley, David. Traders of the Golden Triangle. Chiang Mai, Cognoscenti Books. A Scene, B006 GMID 5K, Salzar Ima Paragraph NG, The Shan States and the British Annexation. Cornell University, Cornell, 1969, J. G. Scott, Gazetteer of Upper Burma and the Shan States. 5 vols. Rangoon, 1900-1901. J. G. Scott, Burma and Beyond. London, 1932. Mrs. Leslie Milne, The Shans at Home. London, 1910. Conway, Susan. The Shan, Culture, Arts and Crafts, River Books, 2006. External links, official website, Shan State Relief Map showing major towns and revised township boundaries, November 18, 2010, Myanmar Information Management Unit, Shan Herald Agency for News SHAN, Taipei American Chamber of Commerce. Topics Magazine, Analysis, November 2012. Myanmar, Southeast Asia's Last Frontier for Investment, by David Dubine, Chronology for Shans in Burma.